first bits to arrive. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for stopping in. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button right now. You don't want to miss what's going on. It's just starting to get interesting with the new BMW 335i. And what are we talking about today? There's a lot that needs to be done. Well, I appreciate all the warnings, guys, for the maintenance nightmares that the 335i can be, especially some of the earlier generation 335i, like the 07, for example, which is one I got. Someone even said literally one of the worst years of 335i that you could have chosen. Well, a lot of people would argue that it's the worst year of the 335i, but guys, it's a project, right? There are a number of reasons that I actually ended up choosing this one in particular, although the color was not one that was appealing to me at first. I didn't need a third black car, to be honest with you. So this is the one I selected for a couple of reasons. We'll talk about that later on in a different video. But this video in particular, I wanted to go over all of the things that are wrong with this car, and I got a list. I guess we can go ahead and start with the exterior. Not a whole lot of dings, a couple of dings, small dents here and there, but that's to be expected. The car's 13 years old at this point. 2 drivers only, so that's a good thing. But the top surfaces of the vehicle, the hood, the roof, and the deck lid in particular, all of the top surfaces, they need some TLC. I didn't know if maybe we'd wrap them, maybe we'd try to get them painted and color matched, or the other option was to clay bar them, give them a good polish, and see if I could knock down some of the issues. There is some clear coat paint failure or clear coat failure in some areas, mostly on these little trim rail pieces here, so I'm not super concerned about it. I did a little test patch on the hood of polish with the Chemical Guys V36 polish, and it actually made a difference. So I might do something a little more aggressive and see if we can knock the clear down. It might be taking it all the way down as far as we want to take it, but I think we might be able to remedy some of the paint issues, at least get it shining. So that's one thing on the list. Headlights and fog lights need to be addressed. They are a little foggy. I'm going to try to wet sand and polish them myself. I'm not sure if the issue is on the inside of the lens or on the outside. They don't feel too bad to the touch, so it may be the inside. If we can't get them looking perfect, they might end up being replaced, but we'll see. Not a top priority, to be honest. You can see the lower mesh grille has seen better days there too. I have this one on order, should be coming in soon. I'll get the side ones as well. Again, not a top priority, but they're relatively inexpensive, so I might as well go ahead and get them fixed. We don't need the grills. This video is more about what's wrong with the car, but we'll get those blacked out as well. The brakes seem to be working okay. The car needs rotors, in my opinion. Driving this vehicle home, one thing I noticed immediately was that it needs front wheel bearings, driver's side front in particular, so that's something I decided to tackle right away. If you're gonna do one, you might as well do both. Relatively inexpensive as well. Already here, one already done. I'll be making a video on how to do that with the remaining wheel here, so stay tuned for that. After the car spent its first night in the garage, I came out to the garage to an overwhelming gasoline smell. I planned on checking the injectors, possibly replacing the injectors, but I thought I would check another common issue that is seen in these vehicles. Under the back seat, the driver's side back seat, the fuel pressure regulator housings made out of plastic sits down in the fuel tank, and that top part tends to crack and allows gasoline to sneak through and get past, leaving a pretty strong gasoline odor, especially after filling up the tank. Pulled the back seat, pulled it out, full of gasoline, sure enough. So that's on order, that's being replaced. If you're not familiar, it's right under that plate there. So gas isn't too bad right now, but it's something we gotta do. I checked codes right away, and it was showing a cylinder 3 misfire. It drove just fine the 3-hour drive home, but once I was putzing around town a little bit, getting gas and running up to the gas station for a soda. I noticed a little bit of a kind of a hesitation at idle. So I ran the codes. Like I said, cylinder 3 misfire. We already got plugs and coils on order. They'll be here Monday. Of course, we're going to be doing some upgrades to this vehicle and trying to increase its performance, but the key to increasing performance is to make sure that your vehicle is running top-notch as is first. If you're not keeping up proper maintenance, increasing the car's horsepower output, the torque output, pushing the car to its limits, it's just going to find all the weak points. So you might as well take care of the weak points first, hence the wheel bearings, hence the spark plugs and coils, and all this other stuff that we're doing. So with that being said, one more thing I want to take a look at is replacing the intake filter, the filter of the air box. Whatever, it's still an intake, but I took a look at it. It's relatively new. There's some dark spots to it, so it's doing its job, but the airbox itself was full of gunk and grime and debris and whatnot. So I want to get that all cleaned out. Might as well replace it with a little better flowing filter for the time being, and just let the air flow. With that, I got a little bit of an exhaust rattle. There's one of the hangers I can tell is a bit loose, so it's bumping down here, kind of right here in the middle of the vehicle. So we'll button that up. Hood struts are a little weak. Got to get those replaced. They're on order, 10 bucks a piece. No big deal. It holds it up, but you just don't want to be looking around here with your head under the hood and have it come down and smash you. So hood struts replaced. Don't worry. I got the engine cover, the beauty cover here. I'm just figuring we're gonna be doing some work under here. I don't want to have to keep taking it on and off and whatnot. So everything actually looks pretty clean under here. I was quite surprised. Now, when I was driving it home, I did notice that, I don't know if I was really fighting it necessarily, but the steering wheel wasn't completely straight, or I was pulling kind of drifting, I will say, to one side. So I figured it needed an alignment, but there was a very apparent wheel bearing, right? And that can cause the vehicle to drift. So we'll see how it drives after replacing the front wheel bearings, and then we'll decide if we need an alignment or not. That brings me to one more need. This here, I noticed it right away, used it as a negotiation tool. Don't feel safe driving home on this tire. So they gave me a brand new tire, put it in the trunk. We're gonna be getting that replaced. Who knows, might sell the tire. I'm replacing all the tires anyway. I checked oil level and it is full, but anytime I buy a vehicle, it doesn't matter if it's from an individual who said they just recently had the oil change or from a dealership. One of the first things I do is change the oil, so we're gonna have that done as well. I don't know that I'm gonna do it myself because once I get the coil packs and the spark plugs replaced, I'm taking it to a BMW kind of specialist performance shop here in town to give it technically a pre-purchase inspection, but we're gonna call it an after-purchase inspection, just to give it a quick rundown, full inspection, take note of everything that I haven't maybe caught or some other things that I might not have thought of, and then we'll have kind of a good launching point to get us moving. If all goes well and the cylinder 3 misfire is remedied with the coil packs and plugs, I think we'll be in good shape, and then we can get moving on some of the more fun and interesting things. The car really does look good. Aside from the misfire, it seemed to run really strong. Had plenty of power on the test drive. There's no weird smoke, no weird noises or anything, so I'm hoping the turbos are still good. That'll be a shame if the turbos are bad, but the car does have 130,000 miles. The one benefit that I saw to it, and I can talk about this more in a future video, but having two owners, it spent its entire life in the state of South Carolina. It was all of the maintenance work and everything was done at the same shop for 110 or 100, somewhere around 100,000 miles. So that's a good thing as well. I like knowing that the same place or the same dealership always worked on this car consistently. That meant the person, you would hope, took care of it. Oh, that reminds me of one thing. The interior really didn't need a whole lot, just did a pretty thorough leather cleaner with Lexol leather cleaner, and then Lexol leather conditioner, so it is feeling good. And God, BMW knows what they're doing with interiors, man. This thing is comfortable. I love the Q50. The Q50 seats are pretty decent, but dropping down into these bad boys, it feels so good. But that being said, some of these trim pieces are a little bit funky, so I'm gonna clean these up. Might wrap them, might replace them. I ordered some wrap, and we'll see how it looks. But I actually like the silver trim, so probably gonna keep that. God, it smells like a BMW in here. One thing that does drive me crazy though is this back visor, whatever you want to call it, stays up. You push the button to retract it and the motor moves, but I don't know if they come off track or if there's issues with these things getting stuck up. But if anybody knows, let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to get that thing down. I can't stand it. I want to tint the windows, including the rear, and I can't do it with that damn thing up. Oh, I need washer fluid, window washer fluid. God, I hate that. Pull the switch, nothing happens. Sucks. See, I keep thinking of more and more things. On the way home, this damn thing popped off somehow and flew away. I don't know where it went, but it annoys me every time I walk out here and I notice that black hole. Ugh. It's crazy trying to find them pre-painted too. They want like 50 bucks for them, and they're coming from China or something. So they're gonna come between June 6th and August 10th or something like that. It's just crazy. So I don't know, I might get a primed one and try to use some of, some of the rattle can color match from, I can't remember what site had it now, but they have the paint colors in rattle can form. I might do that. Good enough fix. And of course, we got to check for vacuum leaks, boost leaks, all that kind of stuff. Tons of plastic tubes in the engine bay here, and I understand why people don't like messing with these BMWs, but I think we're on the right track. There are a lot of things to do maintenance-wise to this car. I've never been accused of being a patient person, so I got to slow it down. I got to take my time with it. Make sure we, cover all of our bases. Like oil, like I said, oil change, check for leaks, plugs and coils. Just getting everything dialed in, worked out. Then we'll hit performance stuff. But like I said, I'm not patient, so it shouldn't take too long. I want to get there. I want to get moving. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for following along. Leave me in the comment section. In the comments, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know some of your thoughts, tips, tricks, anything. Appreciate it all. Thanks, guys.